Okay, so a few more things you can do with brushes is if I just create a brush quickly, apply a texture. You can rotate it around all three axes, X, Y and Z axis. If you just hold shift and tap D, that will rotate it. You can also do rotation on the Y and X axis. These three automatically default to 90 degrees rotation. For more precise rotation, just use this box and put in what you want to do. So I can do a 60-degree rotation on the X axis, and I'll do a minus 70-degree rotation on the Y axis. So that ends up like that. We can also create a brush and then turn it into a box. You can either use the buttons up here, which is hollow, or you can go selection, CSG, hollow. So as you can see, it's created like a box for us. The only downside to this is it creates really unneat edges, so I advise neatening them up, which you can just do by using E and just making them so they're flush with each other, so you get a neat edge. So if I just delete that. There's also the clipper tool, which is probably the most useful. If I just create a floor on a wall quickly, so I've got a wall, and if I want to put a door in this wall, I select this brush. Let's look at it face on in 2D view. Press X, and that will activate the clipper tool. And you can now click 2 points, and it will draw a line across the brush between these 2 points. If you don't like the line you've drawn, just press X and then X again to reuse it. So I'm just going to draw a quick door. Shift and Enter confirms the slice. So like, if I do that and I now want to cut it, it also shows you in 2D view which bit's going to cut off. 3D view. Just Shift and Enter will confirm it. And then, so now we've got a number of pieces. So I can just delete that, and I've got a door frame. I can do the same for windows. I just do this. Cool. So I've got a door frame and a window, which is a lot quicker than just individually making all these brushes. It's a lot quicker to just cut walls out of it. And then you can also just apply like sort of slants to these brushes and do what you want with them, etc. And then if you want, you can place like a door frame texture on the I'll just put a different texture on the door frame. So that's pretty much it for brushes. Just like you can use terrain patches and stuff, but I'll cover that in the later video. For now, I'm just going to go on to talk about models and how to put them in. If you want to put like just like I don't know, a bed against this wall, you're going to right click, go MISC, model, navigate to Call of Duty World at War Raw X model, and these are all the available models you have. Most of them have preview images, as you can see here. The quickest way to find like a model you're looking for is if you go to your Call of Duty World at War directory and go docs, model pics, and then use the search function built into the operating system. If I just do like bed, it will find me like all the beds that, if there's not an image for it, it won't find it. So it will find what you're looking for the majority of the time. So I'm going to put this bed in, this one here. So I'm just going to get the name of that and put it in, found in there. So it's got that bed, and I'm going to rotate it with Shift and D, same sort of rotation tools we've discussed for brushes. Bring that down so it's flush with the floor. So we don't want any objects floating, otherwise it'll look strange in the game. So make sure it's touching the floor. So that's basic model placement. If you want to use a brush or a model for a door, you're going to have to make it a script model or brush. For models, you have to right click, script, model, and then select your model. So this gate is a script model, and you can check this by bringing up the entity window while you have this model selected. So to bring up the entity window, you press N, and you can see its model name, its class name, and it's a script model. It also tells you its origin and sometimes a few other things. If we go on the bed, we notice it's a MISC model, so the script can't control that model. That model is static, can't be moved in game. So this gate could be used as a door and then opened in game like a blocker, for example. For brushes, you just draw out the brush you're going to use for the door. Show this quickly. And then while it's selected, just right click in 2D view, go script brush model, and it will turn it into a script brush model. If we bring up the entity window again, you can see its class name is a script brush model, and this is just world spawn. So that's pretty much it for models and brushes.